Hi, I did my final project on erosion. I adapted a lab I had used with my fourth graders so that it was more aligned with my STEM perspective and more learner self-directed. This is the lab sheet my students will receive. A file has been uploaded in my post as well so that you can see it better. We start out with a review of weathering and erosion. Then my students will hypothesize the answer to the problem that I give them. Will the speed of water affect the amount of soil erosion that occurs? And if so, how? To test the hypothesis, students are directed to place dirt on one end of each of three separate trays. That same end is raised up on blocks to create a slope. Water is poured from a height that the students determine through a cup that they put holes in. One tray has water being released slowly and a second tray has water being released quickly. Students should see similar results to my results that I had, which is shown here, where the soil erosion is greater when water falls down faster. Students record their observations in the chart provided, and they answer several questions then, like how did the speed affect the soil erosion, how do your results support your hypothesis, why didn't you pour any water into the third container. And then I have some real-world connection questions, like what are the negative effects of soil erosion, where in the United States do we see the effects, and what are some ways that we can stop or slow down soil erosion. With that, students are able to then brainstorm through their suggestions and then decide how to model one of those suggestions in the tray that they hadn't used with water. My daughter decided to model the way farmers use the roots of trees in their fields, or even the concept of strip farming. She dug up weeds and intertwined their roots at the base of the dirt. As you can see, she was quite successful. Even though the water was released quickly, there was very little soil erosion, even when you compare it to the tray where the water fell very slowly. This activity aligns with how students learn. It addresses preconceptions, has students apply what they know with the scientific method. They have to reflect on what they have done, and the whole thing is inquiry-based. Although I supplied the question, this activity leaned more towards learner self-directed in the way that they collected their own data. They formulated their own explanations from the evidence that they had. They used their scientific knowledge and they had to communicate and justify their explanations. Within the four levels of inquiry, the first part of the activity would fall under structured, but the second part would be guided as students decide how to go about modeling that real-world deterrent. And this activity aligns very well with my STEM perspective. In regards to science, we're talking about erosion, and with the speed that the water is being released, we can apply that to weather. With technology, students have the opportunity to research ways to slow down or stop soil erosion. They are required to take before and after pictures and then post them onto Google Classroom along with their explanation and reasoning. As far as engineering goes, they're building a model. With math, they're taking measurements, and real-world connection, definitely. We're talking and modeling about slowing down or stopping erosion and connecting to where erosion is seen in the world. Thank you, and I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your summer.